I am Kate Flannery, and I'm in the movie The Prank, and I play Loretta, the lunch lady.
The lunch lady. Ooh.
So we've all had a lunch lady that we probably made fun of, and I'm here to say she has feelings.
How did you get in character for the role here?
Luckily, great writing, great script, and a great director, Maureen Bharoocha. So it's easy, and amazing actors. I mean, of course, the great Rita Moreno is the greatest. Yeah.
So you've been in a lot of iconic comedies. What about this role specifically inspired you to get involved?
Well, I've been lucky enough to do comedy. This is a dark comedy, and there's a lot going on, and I think there's going to be some thrills and some chills and some laughs, but some shocking. I know it's fun. It's a little more of a roller coaster ride.
And then why should audiences see this film?
They should see this film because it's fantastic. It's fun. It will make you forget the outside world for the time you're watching.
We wanted to hear a little bit about your involvement with this film.
I got a job.
You can't hit on that, yeah.
No, I mean it's a great story. I got to work with Rita Moreno, and I got to meet some wonderful young actors who I had never worked with before, and it was a wonderful time. As you'll see when you see the movie, it's a great time.
Why should audiences see the film then?
Why should audiences see the film? Well, in the as we are making our way out of the pandemic, and we've had so much heavy things to think about, it's a great moment to have a little fun.
And then what kind of inspired you to take on this role, playing the principal? I mean, any great principals in your life, I suppose?
I remember a few good principals, but like I said, it was a really good story, and it's a great job. It was a great opportunity to work with a great actress, and like I said, to meet some wonderful new actresses, and to get to work with Maureen, who is a really wonderful director.
And you've done a lot of work both in live action and in animation. We were wondering, is there any kind of difference in preparation for either of those mediums?
Years of study.
So we were wondering, obviously this is a dark comedy. You balance a couple tones. We were wondering, as a director, how did you kind of find that sweet balance between something that's funny but also something that's got that kind of very serious undertone?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting. Thrills and laughs are kind of in that same, it's really a fine line. So being able to kind of thread that through is a challenge. And a lot of times we did try different takes, maybe that was maybe more funny or a little bit more serious. And then you start to find your rhythm. But it's definitely like making sure that everybody feels grounded and real. So even when you're playing in comedy or when you're playing in thrills, you got to have that grounded base.
Yeah, and obviously you have an incredible cast here. What was it like trying to, I guess, juggle between directing some of these more veteran actors with a lot of the younger cast?
I mean, there's just a level when you have Keith and Rita on set, and Kate, Meredith, and, there's a level that's just set, and kind of everybody steps up to that bar. So I feel like having such an incredible cast kind of sets a tone.
Perfect. And do you have any advice for any student filmmakers like us?
I would say just go out and make stuff. That's the best way, You got to do it.
The role in the film, my character specifically. So my character Ben, he's kind of like an uptight, very controlling person, similar to myself in a little bit. But Ben soon finds out that his life he can't really control. That's chaos ensues.
And so why should people see this film?
It's very fun. It's like a roller coaster. There's really funny parts, there's very scary parts, and it's just a thrilling film altogether.
As the lead, what was it like kind of trying to balance between those two tones?
Well, I mean, not just myself, but everyone in the cast had to be very versatile. I think, like I was saying, some very comedic moments where you have to improvise, and then some moments when it does get pretty dark and you really have to channel that inner darkness in a way. But yeah, everyone brought their A game, and everyone's really great people. So when you have great people and also really great professionals, making a good movie.
Perfect mix, perfect mix. Do you have any advice for any people who are trying to get into the industry, students like us?
Yeah.
Would you mind talking
Just
about the prank?
you know, if this is your thing, just keep having at it. As long as you're having fun, there's no wrong answer. You know what I mean? No matter if you're doing a feature film or just creating something with your friends at university or whatever that may be. If you're enjoying yourself, then that's all.
I play the mother of the lead boy who is doing a prank on his teacher, which goes awry in the worst way. Is there murder? I don't know. Yeah, I just play the cool mom because, you know, I'm cool.
Yeah, of course, of course. That seems like a very easy role for you, yeah.
It's a very easy role. I am a mom, and she thinks I'm cool.
What kind of drew you to get involved with this project?
I love Maureen Bharoocha, the director. I think she's incredible, and I love having women in charge, and she's awesome. I also wanted to work with John Kimmel. This is the second film we've done together. And yeah, I just liked the script, and I thought it was super awesome.
Yeah, of course. And why should people check out this film?
They should check out this film because it's funny, and I don't want to give anything away. I was gonna say, anyway, it's just a cool, different take on teachers. And I mean, Rita Moreno is the star. That's why. See it because of Rita Moreno. Stay because of me.
I play a character named May Tanner in this movie, and I'm really excited about it.
We heard your character's a little bit of a slacker. How did you kind of get in that role? Is that kind of like you, or?
I could get there very easily, so it wasn't too hard. Yeah.
Why should audiences see this film?
I think the plot twists in this film is so well written, and it was very collaborative. Like, we all worked so hard on it, and overall the story is just really well done.
And do you have any advice for any younger actors or younger filmmakers who want to kind of get their career going?
Yeah, just dive in and try it out and see if you like it. Why not?
Did you do any like method acting, help them clean a toilet or something? Or?
There was a lot of like students spilling things that I had to clean up, which I am a dad, so I was like, I did a lot of practice for the past 10 years with my two kids cleaning after them, so it made it easy.
A little bit used to it, I guess, yeah. So we wanted to ask, why should people see this film?
Well, I think people always love thrillers and love... this film really does a good job of giving you the feeling of like what you might want to do to your meanest teachers when you were a kid. And so I think it's very relatable and fun and kind of the fantasy of how you might try to punish your teacher.
Do you have any mean teachers that you'd like to shout out? Any that come out of your memory?
Yeah, Mr. Wenz was like the meanest. No, he's actually the nicest guy ever, but I'd rather shout out the nicest guy than the meanest ones. I'd always try to win over my meanest teachers, so we ended up friends after long battles by the end of the school years.
I play Sawyer Friedman. I am a kind of a nerdy goofball who is in the chemistry class with Mrs. Wheeler and everybody. It's been such a joy to be in this film.
Were you very, very good in school? I mean, I know trying to get into the role a little bit as a kind of a nerdy student, did that come naturally?
I mean, I would say yes. I was in AP classes until I discovered theater, and then it kind of tanked after that, you know what I mean? But I became a student of the arts, and it was one of the things that has been the most fulfilling.
Do you have any advice for any students like ourselves or younger actors trying to get involved in the business?
Just keep doing it. Never stop, because there are so many outlets now that you can make your own things, that you can put whatever you want, you could write whatever you want. So I would say just keep doing it. And I'm going to take a quote from Steve Martin, and he said, "Be so good they can't ignore you," which I take to, like, it's my mantra now. So I use it all the time.
Yeah. And then obviously the film is called The Prank, but it is kind of a little bit more of a serious film. What was it like kind of balancing those two, I guess, tones at once, trying to get into that comedy but also into those scary moments?
I think the beauty of this movie is that it does balance it out really, really well. I mean, with all this complex storytelling, it really kind of pops the comedy and also pops the drama. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. It's fantastic.
Perfect. And then this might be a no, but were there any pranksters on set? I mean, the film was called The Prank, or what was the vibe on set, I suppose?
I mean, the vibe on set was actually kind of nice because we filmed at a high school, and for the most part, instead of like hanging out in our trailers by ourselves, we kind of sat around a conference table right there in the teachers' lounge. So, I mean, we still had our dressing rooms, but we literally spent most of our time in the teachers' lounge just hanging out. And I don't think there were too many pranks, but there were a lot of seagulls. So we were trying to avoid a lot of the seagulls because we were filming next to the beach.
Teacher's Lounge, kind of forbidden area, very nice.
Yeah, it was funny because we were in the teacher's lounge and we were pointing out actually some spelling errors around this teacher's lounge, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to like hang out in the teacher's lounge and also like just kind of put ourselves into that element of the school.
Perfect. And finally, why should audiences see this film?
Because it's amazing, it's funny, it's scary, there's so much, and I mean, Hollywood royalty herself, Rita Moreno, is in it. I mean, there's no other draw, right?
My name is Sarah C. Reeves, and I'm the editor of The Prank. This is my 7th collaboration with Maureen Bharoocha. I've been working with her not much longer than out of film school, like yourself. She went to BU, I went to UNT, the other Texas school. And when I moved out to LA, I watched a thesis film of hers and thought it was amazing. And the advice I had been given by other great editors was like, hey, if there's a director you like, start working with them when they're young. So when they blow up, you'll follow with them. And that's what I did. I met her. I loved her short. I worked on a couple shorts with her. And then as soon as she started doing more movies of the week and her bigger features, I've been involved in all of them. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'm actually an editor myself, so it's very nice to speak with you. A little bit out of my element here. But I wanted to see if you had any advice to aspiring editors beyond, like you said, about attaching yourself to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the best one. I think is that if you're going to do a project for free, it's the price of it is the quality of the work. So if you can work with as many directors or people that you think produce good stuff, or the script is great, or the actors are great, that's the kind of projects you want to be involved in. And I think it's important if you want to be an editor in Hollywood. You got to learn Avid. Avid is the one. I know everybody. There's some projects that are in Premiere, but for the majority, every project I've been on for the past 10 years, there's probably like 3 that have been Final Cut. Everything else has been Avid. So definitely learn the Media Composer if you can.
I guess the last question is, obviously recently the Academy Awards chose not to broadcast the Best Editing nomination. I also feel very strongly about this, but I wanted to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it's a real bummer that they omitted the category of editing and somebody is going to edit it into the show. So, no, it's a real bummer because that's actually one of the things that I think when I was watching the Oscars growing up as a kid, I may not have understood all the other jobs and categories, but I feel like getting that exposure at the Oscars was the best thing. I was like, oh, like this person edited, like that director edited, or this show won, and you kind of see correlations. And I just feel like it's not just editing. I mean, the costumes, the score, best score. I mean, score is amazing. It's disheartening, and I hope that it doesn't stay this way because these are important.
I'm the production designer. My name is Wendy Samuels, and I've worked with Maureen like Sarah has on many projects where this is my 4th movie with her. And it's always just a wonderful creative ride with her. And collaborative, just amazing. You know, she is your partner.
What about doing production design on a school? Like how much, I guess, creative control did you have there in terms of making something that felt natural, but also kind of heightened with the more, I guess, mysterious aspects of the film?
How much creative control?
Yeah, well, trying to make it still feel like a school, but also feel something with
The creative control is pretty much dictated by the budget. This having been not a very large budget, it was very location dependent. So we were fortunate and we actually considered the locations characters of the film because it really does impact everything, especially in my department. So we were really lucky to find some amazing locations, and then once you have that groundwork basis to work with, then you just go with that and create and move the narrative forward, and making that add to the story, and fortunately it worked out really well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about creating this film, or what are you most excited for audiences to see?
Oh, I think that's a tough one, because it's just, it was such a team effort. And the directing, the actors, the director of photography, the art department, everybody, it's a family. You have to work together or it doesn't work. So, I really enjoyed working with Matthew, the DP, and we worked very closely together. That's an important relationship, the DP and the production designer.
I was the director of photography. I, handled the camera and the lighting and all of that stuff, and worked closely with Maureen, the director, and of course our AD to, bring the film together and make the actors look great and tell the story with pictures.
Do you have any advice for any aspiring cinematographers?
I mean, it's a great time to learn to shoot, because you can get great camera pretty easily, and I would just get out there and shoot and tell stories, find stories that you can connect to, and find ways to use pictures to enhance and tell a story, and that's always the goal. How can you make the story better through images?
And why should people see this film?
It's a great bunch of performances, and it has a fun twist. So it'll start in one direction, and you'll think you know where it's going, and then it'll go in a totally different direction, and I think it'll be thoroughly entertaining all the way through.
Perfect. Thank you so much.